Welcome to Rainbow Dust and Brain Farts, the Neurodivergent Diaries. We're Gareth and Mark.
We talk about the messy stuff, the funny stuff, and everything in between. No experts, no fixing, no pretending we've got it all figured out.
Expect a wide variety of conversations, unexpected tangents, questionable life insights, and the occasional brain fart.
So if your brain is a little spicy too, you're in the right place. And let's see where today's brain fart takes us.
Rainbow dust and brain farts, the Neurodivergent Diaries.
So, welcome to today's episode, which has changed a few times already because we're trying to think about what to say because there's so many things to talk about. And I think that what we could talk about is self-editing because that kind of comes under that decision process. And I don't know about you, but I've looked back at some of what we've done and I liked it, but then I found myself being quite critical and I thought there's something to talk about there. So maybe we could talk about that. I'm going to say we could talk a few times. That's your challenge for today, is to put in the comments how many times I say that.
So before we start, Mark, how are you?
I'm a bit spicy today. I'm not bad. I'm not good. I'm just a bit. I'm all of those things. So this should make for an interesting side of conversations. I'm certainly more awake than I was when we did some previous recordings. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, thinking about stuff, and there's been a touch of overwhelm recently, but I don't feel like I've got that today. And yeah, I couldn't quite put a finger on how I'm feeling today. But I wouldn't answer with just a boring fine. Because it's more complicated than that today.
You know what FINE stands for?
What?
Fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So, let's start. I'm going to put the magical rainbow timer on for 30 seconds.
I'm glad that you do this. I'm not sure that I could cope with the responsibility of setting the timer.
That's all right.
Right.
So, let's crack on. Self-editing.
Self-editing. I would say that I am particularly critical of of how I look. And I think that might be something that, although I've done a lot of work on my self-image, it's one of my go-to wanting to edit feelings. Like, like when I looked back at some of our recordings, I'm like, why am I sat like that? When that's not really important. It's not anything to do with what we're talking about. But I think it's worth noting. I think it's worth noting that that's where that came from straight away. And then I also think that I go, well, you could have made that point better, or you could have said that in a different way. I want to do that again, and I think it's a complicated thing because sometimes having a critical eye is useful for self-improvement. If you just look at everything that you do and you just think everything's great and that you are rocking everything, where's the scope to improve? But the balance of like everything I do is shit and I hate it. Like, so I'm not going to do anything compared to that's fine on what that was in that moment, but maybe this is a way to improve it is a tricky tightrope.
Just like what you're saying, like where do we draw the line? Because there is an element of like looking at things and seeing how that we can do better. But then it crosses the line into like being so judgmental towards yourself and looking at yourself through the filter of nothing is ever good enough and that sort of stuff. And for me, I find that I find that there's a brain fart. The screen has just gone blank. Yeah, I find that when I'm tired or when I've got a lot going on, I'm a lot more critical of myself.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I can look at myself and I can get dressed in the morning and I can look at myself in the mirror and I can say, oh, that's shit.
Right.
Because what I'm seeing in the mirror, yes, it's an image, but it's also a representation of how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that maps out into all areas of my life. It maps out into work. It maps out into what I'm doing around people, and you're constantly in this like edit mode.
Mm.
And you're afraid to almost put yourself out on a limb.
Definitely.
And I think for most people in life is a performance. Life is an act. Nobody's ever going to know me like I know myself. They're only going to know what I show them. But because I know myself, and because I know my flaws, and because I know the challenges that I face, I'm subconsciously afraid that they're also going to see that.
Right.
So then I've always got to put on this brave mask or this mask and constantly almost like living 2 steps ahead just in case.
Yeah. I would say that something that I honed in on a little bit there is, would you say that there is a bit of a fear base of either being seen a certain way or being judged? And does that come, this is just a question that I could pose to myself as well, is there, am I worrying about people judging me as critically as I do judge myself?
Yeah.
Which I would say largely probably isn't the case, but it doesn't stop it happening.
Yeah.
Something else that's come to mind as well is I have an idealistic version of Mark, which is some amalgamation of all of my best bits,
Yeah.
all put into one. And I think that there's a comparison that takes place a lot with me where I'm never going to meet that ideal all of the time. And I find that with the neurodivergence coming out with me the way that it does, I have these periods of being on it, as I would say. So maybe I'm well rested and I'm doing some good routines and I see the benefits of it. But then because of the nature of how I am, there'll always be a slip back or a compromise on this ideal, or I can't maintain it. And is it realistic for me to expect myself to retain that level? And another question is, am I looking for some happy medium from being either on it or like down?
But who says that we should have that ideal? Do we tell ourselves that we need to like reach a certain standard? Because the way that I see it is like humans are photocopy machines. So,
Right.
so we learn everything. So everything that I am and everything that I do has been taught to me.
Yeah.
The formative years are taught by our family.
Yeah.
So we learn how to behave a certain way from what we see.
Yeah.
So we see our parents behaving a certain way or whatever it is. Then as we grow up, we go out into the world and we see all these other little photocopy machines that have been taught by their parents to behave a certain way. We go to school and we start seeing how our friends behave. And we learn very quickly that when I do something and someone appreciates it or someone laughs or someone accepts me, I take that on board. So I kind of like put that in my paint by numbers. And then I go into a different scenario where there's different people and I do what I did over there when those people like me and I do it there and those people don't like it.
Right.
And they laugh at me and they make fun of me. So then my natural thing as a human being is to question it.
Yeah.
Well, did I learn it right there or are they right and I shouldn't be doing that? And then I look at how they are behaving in their groups, and I see that this group gets more fun, so to speak. So I adapt myself to fit into that group. So we're constantly going through life photocopying and photocopying and photocopying, and some stuff we use and some stuff we don't, but we retain it all.
It's a lot of stuff to carry around and a lot of second guessing, isn't it?
So then I get to a point in my life later on, where I've been through school and I've been through university if I've gone to university, and work and this and different social circles. And I sit there one day, and we all do it in our own way. And I sit there one day and go, well, who am I? Some people will explore that.
Yeah.
Other people will be like, I don't care. When the question comes up, like, I know who I am. Because we have like two fundamental needs as humans. We have a need to be right and a need to be liked. And we'll do anything to fit those needs, even if it means changing ourselves.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of different versions of Mark, and I've been thinking of that quite a bit recently for one reason or another. And I talked about it, I don't know in what circumstances, about like there being I compare myself to previous versions and then go, well, that one was doing well in that way, but then wasn't doing well in that way. And it's just like being in the moment and being just where you're at is a skill, and it's not easy. I don't think it's easy to always be in that. Do you have any ways that you keep yourself in that present moment and accept yourself, putting you on the spot a little bit?
For me, every time I use the words I am, right, I'm reaffirming something. I'm giving myself a label. I'm giving myself a role. And with all of those labels and all of those roles come a certain set of rules.
Okay.
And in order for me to fulfill that role or to fulfill that label, I have these rules that I need to follow. And when I don't follow these rules, I'm not being what I say I am. And sometimes I have so many roles and so many labels that I forget. Look at it like, if I have a role and a label, I'm putting on a hat. So when I put on this hat, I do a certain thing. So if I look at myself, it's like, okay, I am a partner to someone. So I put my partner hat on, and in order for me to do the partner role, I have to do certain things. Does that make sense? I will be at home when my partner gets home. I'll say, I love you. I will do whatever. Then I go to work and I'm a chef. So I take off my partner hat and I put on my chef hat.
Yeah.
In order for me to do the chef role and to fulfill that thing, I have to do a certain number of things. When I go into working with people in a therapy role, I take off my chef hat and I put on my therapy hat. And again, that comes with a certain things. Then I come and sit here with you and I am a friend. So I put on my friend hat.
Yeah.
So I've got all these hats that I'm constantly putting on and off and on and off. And when I find myself getting overwhelmed, all I need to say to myself, what helps me, is I'm just a hat rack.
Oh, I like that. Just a hat rack. Because what you're saying in that example is that you're not criticizing that. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
We all have these different modes and roles that we go into. Like when we associate with certain groups of friends, we'll have a role within that friendship group, and we may be viewed in a certain way. So we act according to that. Do you think that maybe some discord comes from hats that maybe don't suit us?
Some people give us hats.
Yes.
See, because
I don't want to wear this bonnet today.
in order for me to create my social circle or to create my nuclear environment, I've got to, without realizing it, I do it. I give people a place in my life.
Yeah.
So I have someone who comes along and they fit that role. I may not know them very well. I only know what they show me.
Yeah.
So with what they show me, I have to make them mean something. Does
Right.
that make sense? And the same happens with me.
Yeah.
People have to make me mean something in their life. They have to give me a label in order for me to make sense to them. When I make sense to them, then I fit into their life. If I don't make sense to them, I don't fit into their life. And I potentially become someone they dislike because they've given me that meaning. Now, when someone dislikes me, I subconsciously try and change the meaning that they've given me.
Right.
Um,
So you're trying to change a hat that they're giving you,
yeah, but it's
and they
like
don't like that.
I don't have to wear other people's hats. If you
I
know,
really like this. As I love a visual analogy. It's something that really helps me understand things. And yeah, I think that me sort of trying to process what we're saying and sort of apply it into certain circumstances. That's yeah. It's when we get the problem when we don't feel like we want to wear that hat. Maybe we don't want to wear it that day, or we don't want to wear it at all. And you don't actually always have to take what you've been given. That's very interesting to me.
you see the thing like with you, you can relate it to your work
Yeah,
because when you work and you go into Ruby,
yeah,
Ruby has a set of rules,
yeah,
and you do Ruby.
yeah,
It doesn't matter that not everybody likes Ruby because you know it's a character,
yeah,
so to speak. But then when you take Ruby off and we go back to the hat rack, who is Mark,
yeah.
that's when we start to worry.
I think that as a follow-on, talking about that, about being critical, I would say that I tend to be less critical of Ruby and want to edit because I've got evidence of success. And that, like, some people don't like it, some people it's not their thing, but generally that it's working for me generally, and that there's sort of tweaks to the way that I might want to be viewed, but I do think that I maybe do wear the hat that's given to me by the people that support it, but I'm quite comfortable. It feels routine to do that. Where it then makes me question when I want to talk about other things and talk about deeper things is that, like, that character, for instance, is not someone that you wanted to discuss about any sort of deeper topics. That's not what that character's for, but it's what I'm known for mainly. And it can feel exposing to go, actually, I'm a deep thinker and I'm a complex thinker and a complex
If you weren't, we
personality.
wouldn't be sitting here
Exactly.
doing this.
Exactly. But Ruby's just some sort of bubbly, kind of cheeky version of myself, which people like.
But that's
But will
what,
people like
yeah.
somebody going on about, like, who seems to be totally trying to puzzle their head out all the time?
But that's also what I like about that's what I like about our friendship because our friendship we started talking straight away about deep stuff.
Yeah,
Um, and it didn't feel strange and it didn't feel uncomfortable because it was something that we both kind of like enjoyed talking about.
yeah,
And then every now and then we would talk about the surface level stuff, if that
yeah,
makes sense. And it's almost like because we met online and we spoke a lot online
yeah.
first, we almost didn't have to worry about this.
Mm,
And we didn't have to worry about editing.
yeah,
And I think like when we have this combined with what we want to talk about, that's when like a lot of the self-editing talks, that's when a lot of the self-editing comes in. Because I think, okay, um, I am a deep thinker, and this is how a deep thinker should look and sound.
Right.
And it's like, well, I have this image that I've maybe collected from somewhere. It's like, when we start doing this and recording things, it's like, oh, this is not perfect. That's not perfect. Why is it not perfect? Because I'm comparing it to so many others out there.
Yeah.
And I see someone who's doing it and who is successful and it's polished and it's this and it's that. And mine is not there. Oh, mine's not good enough. I've got to edit it. I've got to do better. I've got to what? But this is how, for now, I want to do it.
Yeah.
There's going to be people out there who like it. And there's going to be people out there who look at it and say, oh, that's really amateur. Who am I going to focus on? The people who say that's amateur.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had this feedback. I mean, it's a slight tangent, but that's going to happen a lot, guys. But it's still relevant that if I've got an audience in front of me, it's the ones that don't like it that I can tell that I'll focus on, and I'll try to get them on side. And I've had the compare and entertainment manager DJ. He sees the show every night, and she's like, you spent too much time on them and they weren't interested in the show, and you were ignoring everybody else. I then also go, well, that's part of what I do, and it's. I tend to react a little bit. Well, it's my show, so I do what I want. But it's also with my analytical brain where it seems like I'm just going through some chaos on a on a stage, but I'm analysing it all the time in real time. I'm going like, you are really talkative about your own self today in front of these people, and they don't care today. And then other times you're just being really real within the character, and they're responding really well to it. All of that's happening in that moment, but the bit that about the criticism is I will I'm trying to change.
The criticizer.
Yeah, and that it has to be, even though a majority are there, and I wonder why I do that, and I wonder why I am so critical of the way I look.
And that goes back to what we were talking about at the photocopy machines. It's like someone taught me to be critical of how I look. Someone or something. And because I still have that hat that someone put on me, kind of like dug in a little bit, I'm constantly saying, yep, I'm feeling that. Yep, I'm feeling that. It's like I look at it from a cooking point of view, because I do a lot of cooking, obviously. And because I'm self-taught, I always tell myself that I'm not a good cook because I've never been taught. And 99.9% of the people that eat my meals say that they're really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
Do you know who I focus on?
0.1%.
0.1.
Every time that reaffirms that belief.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, when I start to believe in myself, when I start to believe in the hat rack, it doesn't matter what other people think. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I don't give a shit about what people think. I think that's bullshit.
I do.
You have to think about what people think about you in order to not care.
Yeah.
But the trick is to worry about what the right people think about you.
Right. Who are the right people?
So there are certain people in my life whose opinion matters to me.
Is that because it comes from a place of wanting your best interest because they care,
Yeah.
and so they'll give you constructive criticism if needed. But yeah, they're very important people.
They have permission from me to say when I do something that they don't like.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't have permission from me to criticize me, it's not that they're not important and it's not that their point of view doesn't matter, but they don't know me like the other people know me.
Right.
And those people are few and far between. I call them my one-hand friends.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 or 5 people whose opinion I will seek, but they will also lift me up. They will tell me when I'm being too critical.
Yes.
They will tell me when I'm like, I was having a conversation with my sister not so long ago, and she said to me like, when are you going to draw the line in the sand?
Yeah.
When we strive for getting it right and being right, we're constantly pushing that line further and further away from ourselves. It's like what you were saying about that image that you have of ourselves. We sometimes create this image that's all the way up here, and every step we get closer, that image takes a step further back.
Yeah.
So
That's also very
we
true.
never approach it. And it's like, someone said to me, that in some of the therapy that I did, well, what if this is as good as it gets? Then what?
I've had that recently regarding my weight loss. And this is, I can give myself a bit of a pat on the back because this has been a complete life defining issue for me. And it's something that I talk about a lot. I refer to a lot. I refer to my size a lot. I use a lot of comedy about my size. I it's always there. It's one of my big things that I was doing well at that time because I was thinner. Where everything else might have been to shit, but I was thinner. And the point I was going to make is evaporating, which I hate, but it's just a brain fart, which is what we're doing here. But it's annoying because it was literally going to be the most life-changing point. That was. It was going to make a difference. I've got it. It's come back. The little man just put. Yeah, the little man ran to the front of the head. That I had that same thought recently that I've kind of plateaued with the weight, and I have that thought: what if this is as good as it gets? What if you were to just go right? Ideally you would be slimmer, fitter, and healthier, but you were dangerously overweight, and you now have this sort of middle thing where not a right lot's happening with it. How does that feel for you? And can you bring some sort of not comfort, but some a more relaxed attitude to something that you really fought a challenge on that? And are you going to be negative to yourself because you didn't get to your end goal, or are you going to sit with it and just try and go, well, maybe some more will come off, maybe not, but maybe it's a time to not be so tunnel vision focused on it.
When we say, well, what if this is as good as it gets? We kind of like give ourselves the opportunity to look at things as they really are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're looking at things that we think the way that we think that they should be. So I have a story with this. Once upon a time, long, long ago. I remember when
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I'm a little bit conscious of something. My tummy is rumbling, and I apologise if
so just move the microphone
because my microphone. Yeah, because I'm aware we might be talking, and there might be this like thing going on, and I'm like, and you just about to make I hope I've not ruined your flow, but I just couldn't deal for a second. Talking about.
Put it on the armchair. Yeah.
Is that good?
We'll see how it turns out.
I couldn't leave it. I'm so sorry. It was stood next to my belly, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I'm so sorry. You had a story. Please continue.
Yeah. So once upon a time, long, long ago, when my daughter was a baby, she was learning to walk, and she had a chocolate, and she had the chocolate in her hand, and it was all melted, right? And I wanted to clean her hands, but she didn't want to let the chocolate go,
Right.
and she was crying, and I was like trying to open her hands, and she didn't want to let it go. And I was trying to tell her that it was melted, trying to explain that it was melted, but didn't understand at the time. But then when eventually she opened her hands, she saw what a mess it was.
Right.
And when she saw what a mess it was, I could clean her hands and give her another chocolate. And that's often what happens with us. We're so busy holding on to that chocolate that we don't want to open our hands and look at it for what it really is.
Oh, I love that. Love that analogy so much.
Because
I was like, what's he talking about? And then and now I'm like, that is.
Because then when I look at it, if I say to myself, well, if this is as good as it gets, do I really want it? Yes or no? If it's yes, then I can lick my hands.
Mhm.
If it's no, then it's like I can clean my hands and say, okay, well, what is it that I want? But if my hand is full of that melted chocolate, I can't go after what I want because my hand is so closed. So sometimes it's like with the self-critical thing, when I get self-critical, I just say to myself, well, is this what I really want? Yes or no? And then I can choose what to do next. Like I'm my own worst enemy. Nobody can be more critical of me than I am of myself. But sometimes when they are critical, it touches a nerve because it's like that's something that I'm trying to work on.
Yeah.
Then when I'm aware of the melted shit and chocolate in my hand, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they can see the melted chocolate.
There's all
And-
sorts of things.
And that
I'm
kind of
thinking
like
about.
really helps me. It's like, well, okay, I can be super critical. Is it going to help me? Yes or no? If it's yes, then okay, what am I going to do about it? If it's no, then come on. I wouldn't sit here and criticize you the way that I criticize myself, and
No.
you wouldn't do it to me. But then when you say to yourself, this is what I'm dealing with, it's like, well, look at the melted chocolate.
I've got about 8 things that I wanted to say.
And I remember 2 of them.
barely. That was really, really getting my brain going. That I was thinking about something that's helped me with criticism is identifying maybe where it comes from.
Yeah.
And one of the things that has been really beneficial for my peace of mind since I've been in therapy is recognizing one thing that was definitely not useful,
Yeah.
which was criticizing myself
Yeah.
for things that I can't help. Oh no! Oh no!
Well, just finish it. Well,
yeah.
crack on.
Yeah. Criticizing things for things that I can't help. So, like things which could be considered symptoms. I never like the word symptoms, which has challenges of my brain. I would be like, why can't you be more on time? Why can't you be more? Why can't you do? Of things which I know realistically that I do struggle with those things, and that I'll have varied results at overcoming them or doing better with them. But I used to be extremely harsh on myself for things that are not out of my control, but are very challenging for me. And so that's been one of the things that I know has been better because I've let go of that. They've been at least categorized of like you're way too harsh on yourself on those things. But maybe in a future episode we can explore some of those other ones. I can't believe half an hour's just gone. New.
Daddy time. Criticize the time.
Yeah.
So what's one thing that you're going to take away from today? What's one thing that I'm going to take away from today? I think for me, doing this is way outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I need to give myself credit for that.
Yeah.
And that will help me not be so critical, because this is new for me.
Yeah.
So if it's not up to a standard that I want it to be, not because it's not good enough, it's because I'm uncomfortable. And I'm seeing what I feel inside rather than what's on. That's my takeaway.
My takeaway is melted chocolate and hats.
Right, Mark, let's crack on. Thank you for watching. We hope that you found that useful. Remember to do those things. Leave us a comment, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Rainbow dust and brain farts, the Neurodivergent Diaries.